A ghost follows you. It is the shadow of a door that closed, a path not taken. You feel its weight every single day. But this ghost is not real, and the chains are ones you can break. Do not click away. The key to your freedom from this haunting is hidden in the final moments of this teaching, and it is simpler than you can possibly imagine. Created haunting. We speak today of a specter, a ghost that lives not in old houses but inside the quiet rooms of our own minds. This is the ghost of what could have been. It is born in the moment we look back at a past decision and label it a failure, a mistake, a fumbled deal. And once born, this ghost is a hungry one. It feeds on our attention, our regret, our endless replay of the moment. We give it life, we sustain it, and in turn, it haunts us. It whispers to you in the morning, walks with you through your day, and sits beside you in the stillness of the night, reminding you of your perceived loss. This haunting feels so real, so powerful, because we have built it from the very material of our own identity. We attach our worth, our happiness, and our future to that single event. The mind creates a story. If only I had done that, then I would be happy, successful, complete. This story becomes a film that plays on a loop. The more we watch it, the more we believe it is the only true story. We become the main character in a tragedy of our own making, and the ghost is our co-star, always present, always reminding us of the role we are playing. But we must ask a fundamental question. Where does this ghost actually live? You cannot touch it, you cannot see it, it has no substance. It exists only as a pattern of thought, a storm of emotion. It is a shadow we cast ourselves. When you stand in the sun, your shadow is long and dark, but it has no power over you. You can walk, run, and move, and it simply follows. It cannot hold you back. The ghost of a fumbled opportunity is the same. It is a shadow of a past event, and its power over you is only the power you give it. The first step to freedom is not to fight the ghost. If you run from a shadow, it runs with you. If you try to strike it, you will only hit the empty air and exhaust yourself. The first step is to see the ghost for what it is, an echo, a memory, a thought. It is not an external entity that has invaded your life. It is an internal creation. You are the source. This realization is not meant to cause blame, but to empower. If you are the one who created it, you are also the one who can let it go. This requires a gentle courage, the courage to turn and face the shadow, not with anger, but with calm observation. To see it, acknowledge its presence, and understand that its existence is entirely dependent on your focus. The moment you withdraw your energy from it, the moment you stop feeding it with regret, it begins to fade. It has no life of its own. It is a parasite on your present moment, and the host has the power to stop providing it with nourishment. The weight you feel is the weight of carrying a story that no longer serves you. Imagine you are carrying a heavy stone. You have been carrying it for so long, you have forgotten what it feels like to be without it. Your muscles ache, your back is sore, your energy is drained, but you continue to carry it because you believe you must. The fumble is this stone. The haunting is the ache it creates. The teaching today is about realizing that you can simply open your hands and let the stone fall. It does not require a great effort. It only requires the willingness to let go. The world will tell you to chase what you lost, to find another deal, to make up for the failure. This is like telling the person carrying the stone to find an even bigger stone to balance it out. The solution is not external. It is not about fixing the past or controlling the future. It is about changing your relationship with the present. It is about dissolving the ghost that lives within you by gently and persistently turning your attention away from its whispers and toward the reality of the here and now. This is the beginning of peace. Flowing river. The mind has a tendency to build monuments. It takes a single event, a single opportunity, and carves it into a giant stone statue in the landscape of our memory. It labels this statue the one chance, the once-in-a-lifetime deal. We stand before this monument in awe and in fear. We believe our entire life's path was determined at its base. If we made the right choice, the path is sunny. If we fumbled, the path is forever shrouded in the shadow of this great stone failure. But this is an illusion. Life is not a monument. Life is a river. A river is in a constant state of flow. It is never the same from one moment to the next. Thousands, millions of opportunities, moments, and possibilities are flowing past you right now, in this very second. The water that touched your hand a moment ago is already downstream, and new water is arriving. To fixate on one drop of water that has already passed is to miss the entire living, moving, breathing river that is your life. The idea of a once-in-a-lifetime deal is a trick of the mind that creates its own scarcity. It presumes that the universe is stingy, that it offers only one golden ticket. This is not the nature of reality. The nature of reality is abundance, constant creation, endless flow. The sun does not rise once and then decide its job is done. The trees do not produce one leaf and then stop. The forest is a place of continuous growth and change. Opportunities are the same. They are not rare gems hidden in a vault. They are seeds carried on the wind, present everywhere all the time. What changes is not the availability of opportunity, but our ability to see it. When we are staring back at the monument of our past failure, our back is turned to the entire flow of the river. The pain comes from believing that this one deal was the source of all potential happiness. We think the deal itself held the magic, but the magic was never in the deal. The magic is and always was within you. It is your creativity, your energy, your awareness, your ability to connect and to build. These qualities are not depleted when a deal is missed. They are like a spring deep within the earth. You can use the water from the spring to water one plant, but if that plant withers, the spring itself is not gone. The source remains. To escape the haunting, we must shift our perception from the monument to the river. We must stop worshipping the past and start participating in the present. This involves a conscious decision to turn around, to take your eyes off the stone statue of what could have been, and to place your feet in the cool, moving water of what is. Feel the current. See the sunlight glinting on the surface. Notice the life teeming within it. The river is not judging you for the drop of water you missed. The river simply continues to flow, offering itself to you in every moment. When you see life as a river, the concept of a fumble dissolves. Can a person fumble a river? You can stumble on a rock. You can miss a fish. But the river itself cannot be fumbled. You are in it. It is all around you. Your task is not to capture a single drop, but to learn how to swim, to learn how to navigate the currents, to work with them, to be buoyant and adaptable. The skills you learn by navigating the river are infinitely more valuable than any single destination you might have been fixated on. Let go of the idea of scarcity. The universe is not a closed fist holding one precious coin. It is an open hand, offering an endless stream of moments, of chances, of new beginnings. The once-in-a-lifetime deal was just one wave in an entire ocean of possibility. When you truly understand this, the ghost of that one missed wave loses its power. It becomes what it always was, a memory of water that has long since returned to the whole. You are now free to engage with the magnificent living ocean that is right in front of you. Reframed failure. The word failure is one of the heaviest words we carry. It is a judgment, a final verdict that we pronounce upon ourselves. When we say, "I fumbled," we are not just describing an event, we are passing a sentence. We are branding our own skin with a mark of inadequacy. This brand is what burns. It is the source of the haunting. The event itself is neutral. It is the label of failure that gives it a negative charge, an emotional poison that seeps into our being. But what if we could look at the event without the label? What if the fumble was not a fumble at all? Consider the master potter. When they are at their wheel, a pot may collapse. It may become unbalanced, lose its form, and fall into a lump of clay. An observer might call this a failure, but the potter does not see it this way. The potter sees it as part of the process. They have learned something about the clay, about the speed of the wheel, about the pressure of their own hands. They gather the clay, center it again, and begin anew, now wiser than before. The collapsed pot was not a failure, it was a lesson. It was a necessary step on the path to mastery. Every event in our lives can be viewed through this lens. The fumble deal was not the end of the story. It was simply a chapter, And within that chapter is a teaching, a piece of wisdom that you could not have acquired in any other way. Perhaps the deal was not right for you, and its collapse saved you from a future of misalignment. Perhaps the experience was necessary to teach you about resilience, to show you where you were attached, to reveal a weakness in your approach that you can now strengthen. Perhaps it was a lesson in humility, a reminder that we do not control outcomes, only our own actions and intentions. The ego is the part of us that screams failure. The ego is attached to outcomes. It wants to win, to be right, to be seen as successful. When an outcome does not match its desire, the ego feels wounded, diminished. This wound is the haunting. It is the ego crying out from the past. But you are not your ego. You are the silent, spacious awareness that observes the ego. You are the potter, and the ego is just the clay's temporary shape. You can observe the ego's pain without becoming lost in it. You can acknowledge its disappointment without accepting its verdict of failure. To reframe failure is to become an alchemist of the mind. It is to take the lead of a painful memory and transform it into the gold of wisdom. This is not a denial of what happened. The event was real, the feelings were real, but the meaning you assign to it is your choice. You can choose to see it as a dead end, a proof of your inadequacy, or you can choose to see it as a redirection, a teacher, a catalyst for growth. The event itself does not change, but your entire inner world transforms based on the meaning you choose. Ask yourself, what did I learn from that experience? How did it make me stronger? What did it reveal to me about myself or about the world? Do not search for simple, positive answers. Look for the raw truth. Perhaps you learned that you can survive a great disappointment. That is a profound strength. Perhaps you learned who your true friends are. That is a priceless gift. Perhaps you learned that your happiness cannot be dependent on external success. That is the beginning of indestructible peace. When you can genuinely look back at the fumble and see the lesson within it, the haunting stops. A teacher is not a ghost. A guide is not a specter. You transform the phantom that haunts you into an ancestor that informs you. The memory no longer carries the sting of regret, but the quiet dignity of a scar that has healed. It is a part of your story, yes, but it is a story of resilience and wisdom, not one of loss and failure. This reframing is an act of profound self-compassion and the ultimate key to mastering your own mind. Present freedom. So the question arrives as it must. It is a practical question. How do we do this? How do we dissolve the ghost, see the river, and reframe the failure? The answer is not found in complex mental gymnastics or in fighting with your own thoughts. The path to freedom is found in one place and one place only, the present moment. The ghost of the past cannot survive in the light of the present. It is a creature of memory and projection. It has no power here, now. Your freedom, therefore, is a practice of returning again and again to what is real in this very second. This practice begins with the breath. Your breath is your most faithful anchor to the now. It is never in the past. It is never in the future. It is always happening in this moment. When you feel the ghost begin to whisper, when the familiar ache of regret arises in your chest, do not argue with it. Do not try to reason it away. Simply shift your attention. Shift it from the story in your head to the physical sensation of your own breath entering and leaving your body. Feel the air at the tip of your nostrils. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. This is not about suppressing the thought. It is about gently redirecting your focus. Imagine you are sitting by a road. The thoughts of regret, the what-ifs, are the cars driving by. In the past, you have been jumping into traffic, chasing after every car, trying to stop it, to examine it, to argue with the driver. It is exhausting and dangerous. The practice now is simply to sit on the side of the road and watch the cars go by. You see the car of the fumbled deal. You acknowledge it. Ah, there is that thought again. And then you let it drive on. You do not engage. You do not get in. You simply return your attention to your breath, to the feeling of the ground beneath you, to the sounds in the room. Each time you do this, you are exercising a muscle. It is the muscle of awareness, of presence. At first, it will feel difficult. The pull of the old story is strong. You will find yourself back in the car, chasing the thought before you even realize it. This is normal. Do not judge yourself. The moment you realize you are lost in thought, that is a moment of victory. In that moment of realization, you are already free. And then, gently, you guide your attention back to the breath, back to the now. This is a deep and profound act of kindness to yourself. You are teaching your mind that it does not have to be a battlefield. It can be a place of peace. You are reclaiming your own inner space. The ghost has been living in your house without paying rent, consuming your energy, and dictating the mood. By practicing presence, you are gently but firmly showing it the door. You are not throwing it out in a rage. You are simply ceasing to invite it in. You are making the present moment so full, so rich, so real, that there is simply no room for a ghost from the past. The freedom is not a destination you will one day arrive at. It is not a moment when the ghost is vanquished forever. Freedom is the practice itself. It is the choice, in this moment, to return to your breath. It is the choice now to let the thought car drive by. It is in these small, repeated acts of returning to the present that the chains of the past dissolve. The haunting fades, not because you have defeated it, but because you have outgrown it. You have become more interested in the reality of your own life, right now, than in the fiction of a past you cannot change. The power was never in the deal you fumbled. It was not in the opportunity you missed. It was not in the past. The ultimate power has been with you all along. It is the power to choose where you place your attention. This is the only freedom that truly matters. Place your attention here, in the warmth of this breath, in the feeling of being alive, in this simple, profound, and unshakable now. The ghost cannot follow you here. You are finally home. For years, I've been carrying the weight of a business I lost. I called it my ghost, and it followed me everywhere. The way you described it as a monument I built myself that shattered me in the best way possible. Today, for the first time, I didn't fight the memory. I just noticed it and returned to my breath and let the car drive by. Thank you isn't a big enough word. I feel like I can finally breathe again.